In this video, we are reviewing quote-unquote ideal alignment of the spine. Note, I'm very careful not to say perfect posture. There is no such thing. What we are going for, just to remind you, is we're trying to find the easiest place to be upright, and reminding you of the research in evolutionary kinesiology. We're trying to find that place of only 7% more energy to be upright versus lying down. And the only way that's going to happen is by finding your balance. So I'd like you to start by making sure that your feet are lined up pretty much underneath your hip joints. Jesse, can you just point to the actual hip joint so it's not the hip bone? We don't have to be exact, but please don't stand with your feet touching each other or way out to the side. Basically, directly underneath the hip joint. Now, arms alongside your body, Jesse. And I want you to imagine, all of you, that you are a puppet hanging from a string, and you're not holding yourself upright. There's a puppeteer in the sky that's holding you upright, and the tension on the string is just the right amount that your feet are just touching the floor. And when I gave that cue, if it caused you to lift your chin, if you could show that, Jesse, that just means you need to move your string back a little bit. So if you have hair, actually pull on it, and it's going to be a little bit behind the center of your skull. So if it caused you to lift your chin, you need to move your string back a tiny bit. Okay, so if you were hanging from a string, your head would be directly above your rib cage would be directly above your pelvis, and your pelvis would be directly above your feet, and your legs would just be hanging straight down out of the hip joints. Moving your attention to your feet, feel even amounts of weight on your big toe ball, little toe ball, and heel, and picture a tripod formed by these 3 points. And then make sure you feel even amounts of weight on your right and left foot. Sometimes it helps to sway back and forth a little bit, from weighting the right more and then the left more, and going back and forth in between those 2 places till you find the place that feels centered and even. And sometimes it helps you find center to shift your weight forward into your forefeet and back to your heels a few times, and shift back and forth between those 2 places, and see if you can find the place where you're even between your heels and your forefeet and your right and left feet. Make sure you're not squeezing your butt, but Jesse, if you could just show a butt tuck. A lot of our clients come in, somebody taught them at some point to tuck their butt under, so let it stick out, even if that feels a little strange to you. It should not be working just to be upright. It should be pretty flaccid just to be standing here. So allow it to stick out, and allow that little lumbar curve that occurs when it does stick out to happen. Imagine you have 50-pound weights hanging from your front ribs, even if that makes you feel like you're slumping. So if you could even just exaggerate a slump a little bit. Okay. So all she's doing is she's releasing excessive tension in her back. Many of us have these stand-up straight cues: lift the heart, lift the chest. And if you could show them, that's really not that place of no effort that we're trying to help you find your balance. So those muscles in your back should be releasing. And even if you feel like you're slumping, you're really much more upright than you think you are. Your rib cage should be vertical, not tilted back. So 50-pound weights hanging from your front ribs. Gaze straight ahead and find your balance. I'm going to add the shoulders in because so many people have cues of shoulders back and down, and that just wreaks havoc with their shoulder joints. So the cue that we give for the shoulders is, I want you to imagine your collarbones radiating straight out to the side. So you don't literally need to do the gesture that Jesse is showing you, but I really want you to imagine wide and open across the chest and collarbones radiating straight out to the sides. It's a very different intention than shoulders back and down. And the final cue is ever so slightly. It's not a big squeezy, big engagement motion, but just very gently, almost an energetic cue. Rotate your shoulders out at the shoulder joint so that your palms actually end up facing forward. So at the shoulder joint, rotate your arms out so that your palms actually end up facing forward. Go ahead and do it. Yes. Now, okay, so maybe not quite as far, Jessie, so a little less energetic. Yeah, so just, yeah, kind of going in that direction. Beautiful. So it doesn't impact your spine. So rotate out at the shoulder joint. Your palms will end up facing forward. So go ahead and pronate, supinate the forearm. Now, we have a motion at the elbow joint. So without moving the upper arm, she can now rotate her palms toward her. Yes. So it's not that we want you to find the movement by rotating your palms forward. Then keep your upper arm bone where it is and allow the palms to face your thighs. Beautiful. Now just find a moment, find your balance, find that place of only 7% more energy than lying down. Allow your gaze to be straight ahead. That actually really helps your posture, and that looks gorgeous. Thank you, Jessie.